This poem is called My Family. There's nothing more innocent than a newborn, because their minds hasn't been ripped and torn. You're influenced by everything you see in this land, even if you believe you're your own man. And black humility is nothing pretty once you reach puberty in an urban city. Now you're 16 with low self-esteem, trying to live out the so-called American dream. But for African descent, it's how you descend, because now you really know who's your family and friends, and do you got to leave them behind to shine? Even as a child, my parents were hard to find. A slightly better education for a slightly better job, and 2 years on the job, then you realize you was robbed. But following success, there's no turning back. Note the word following. You're learning your check. Malcolm X called this a vicious cycle, to where you can live rich and die like Michael. White people keep their money in the family hid, and the richest black woman in the world has no kids. So black people give their money right back to the nation. Every time you buy some clothes or a PlayStation, and you wasn't taught to invest, so now you just stress, feeding off genetic hormones in your mother's breast. So now we eat like each other and live like each other with much more to mention. And now we have diseases called hypertension. Single mothers work so much they didn't even see their son grow up, and now they're wondering for what. Got people wondering where this all went wrong. Black people been searching their family tree so long that even if you go back to 1403, what was stolen from us was our history, plus education, family, language, and traditions, culture, name, music, and inventions, writing, poetry, God, and religion, our style, dress, manner, and king and queen position. No wonder slaves invented gospel music. This is hard to reverse even if you're a teacher. Now you got black kids walking around named Peter. Can you imagine the people that never went to school? When we were so-called set free as slaves, we went right back to work the very next day doing the exact same thing we were doing as slaves for pennies, because there was no such thing as a minimum wage. And if you thought that was bad, it gets worse. Because now we're allowed to go to school and church. So black people immediately start seeing God, Jesus, angels, all European. Apostles, Noah, Abraham, and Moses. And now we start wondering what's wrong with our noses. Now we think one race is better than ours. Got you kind of disliking your own kind. No wonder it's easy for black people to kill one another and sometimes disrespect their mother, and couples don't get along and can't stay together with each other, and some sisters don't even talk to their brothers. They call this inferior, meaning that you think one race is superior. This creates a whole list of problems that we face, and black people become racist against their own race. So now you have young versus old, rich versus poor, light-skinned versus dark-skinned, college grad versus dropout, men versus women, gay versus straight, hip-hop generation versus the Motown era. The start of fixing this is unification. I'll call this poem My Family, but my family is our black family. Peace.